Hello everybody, Joe Begadones here. Welcome back from the episode of Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. Last time we left off in the garage, done with talking with what's her name that I can't remember. Can I open the dialogue tree here? Oh, nice. It doesn't have their names listed. Okay, you know, Racer Girl and her dad. Now had a lovely talk with them. Hope you guys enjoyed your wonderful Sunday without this video being uploaded then. Totally doesn't have to do with the fact that I was up till 6 in the morning playing Baldur's Gate 3. And it's totally because, you know, I want you guys to enjoy your day of rest without having to be glued to the computer screen the entire time or having to listen to my voice because it's not very restful. Anyway, yeah, I've been fiddling with my mic settings. I re-downloaded the software for like my my microphone settings. You know, Blue Yeti's fucking their Logitech's G Hub or whatever, Blue Voice, whatever the app's called. Can't really do anything for it. The most I can use it for is to adjust like the input gain of my microphone, so like how loud my voice sounds on the recording, and the output to my headphones. That's it. I can do like different broadcaster modes and like do wacky voice effects, but I think it's because I have like the noise cancellation turned up so high on OBS that it just like bugs out whenever I try to do anything. Like I'll show you. I'll turn it on real quick just as a demonstration. Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, definitely cannot use those audio settings for anything because it just like killed my microphone. OBS didn't know what it was doing because the audio settings changed as I was using them, so it just like killed my mic. So I wasn't recording anymore. So I'll have to throw a cut in there where there was just dead air and me talking for like 30 seconds. But yeah, none of that garbage. I can't use it. Anyway, yeah, let's go check up on our girl. We'll farm those affection points. I hear a child crying. The sound echoes in the narrow corridor, making it difficult to tell where exactly it's coming from. This way? I turn the corner to find a sobbing boy of perhaps 6 or 7. Next to him is Captain Otori?
もしもし、あなた、
You stealing candy
一体
from
ど
a
うな
baby?
さったの？
Oh, I'm actually gonna have to turn down the output on my headphones because that's a little loud. And hey, look at that! I can actually adjust it now without you guys having to see my audio settings pop up on the screen when I'm fiddling with it. That's good. I always have to keep that toolbar open on like my second monitor.
どうなさったの？お母さん。お母
And
様
don't you kids got like any original material? It's always Mom, Mommy.
どこ？お母様がいないの？
It appears the boy would rather cry than speak. Whose hand is clutching the captain's sleeve shows that he is at least aware of her presence. Miss Nagakura, meanwhile, watches in silence.
お母様がどこにいるかわからないのね。あなたのお名前は？
Yeah, let's start with basics.
探してよ。
Yeah, but we won't be able to if we don't know like what name to announce over the speaker loud system.
お名前は？
After a few seconds silence, the captain shakes the boy off and stands.
行きましょう、さよ。
はい。
You don't want any help? Fine, you're not going to get any. You know, this is a two-way street.
待って、お母さん、探して。
How are we going to do that without a name? Come on. Meet us halfway. The boy runs after the captain and tries to grab her skirt, but she steps nimbly out of the way. Boy stumbles, nearly toppling over.
お名前は？お母様があなたにつけてくださったお名前。
There we go. Now we can stop calling you Lost Child, unless we'll just keep doing that.
承りました。
The captain spins around in one graceful motion and returns to the boy's side, then helps him to his feet.
お母様とはぐれてしまったのね。わかりました。探して差し上げます。さよ、あなたは大会本部の方に。私は客席を見てまいります。
かしこまりました。
Without further ado, the two set to their words. Without further ado, the two set to their respective tasks. In a moment, they have vanished from sight. No doubt the child and his mother will be reunited soon. Missed the chance to make my presence known, but perhaps that was for the best. I could never have handled the situation so deftly. Damn, she's just like me, for real. Got no time for fucking kids bullshit. As the sun sets, we bring our investigation to a close. People tend to be more wary of strangers at night, best to avoid needless suspicion. Doesn't help that you wear all black and you just kind of like loom over people. The four of us head back to the commissioner's residence, where we exchange information over tea. There are three major points of interest. First, Muramasa was able to confirm that there were no infected Tsurugi among those that participated in the qualifier or practiced on the track afterwards. However, most of the major competitors, such as Tamura, Shokyo, and Yokotan, have not yet revealed their machines. Second, every team is dead set on winning this Grand Prix. As expected, they can all be considered hungry for power. Third, there is a conflict over the question of whether to legalize gambling on the races.
賭博家ですか。それは例えば競馬のように。
ええ、そういうことなのでしょうね。アーマーレースの人気の高さからして莫大な利益が期待できます。
確かに。しかし、
People will find a way to
対
gamble
立があ
on
るとのお
anything.
話ですが。
はい。田村を中心に一部で。
なんで反対してるんだ？
You could make arguments about like the spirit of the sport or something.
それこそ
The sanctity
競馬の
of the
よう
track.
にしたくないからでございましょう。海外ではともかく、
Mhm.
この国における競馬はなかなかに紳士の遊戯とは呼びにくいものになってしまいましたから。
なるほどね。そりゃそうか。
Yep.
楽しくレースをやってる連中にしてみれば、同じ鉄を踏むのは勘弁ってことだな。
対立の構図。
Just become a a diversion for gambling addicts.
態度。
And that's it. Like no one who's watching the horse races to be like, oh man, I hope this jockey's been really good. I've been seeing them improve over the past couple of years. Them and their steed, you know, they really got a shot this year. No, they're just fucking placing their bets. They don't even care.
申し上げました通り、反対派は田村中心。一方、推進派の中核は小京です。圧倒的に優勢なのはこちら側。五個あなたの大好きな六原様。
金の匂いがすると、どこにでも首を突っ込みやがるな。あの山犬ども。
具体的には、お弓久保今川来長様の幕僚との間に太いパイプがある模様でございます。大正領殿下のご子息の姿が背後に見え隠れしていては、逆らうのも覚悟がいりましょう。
No matter where it is, you can never escape politics.
しかし、
Whether it's actually
背後
like
に幕府がついてい
governmental
るよう
politics or like fucking
客層の指示が
interpersonal
なければ
like
賭博家は
organizational
難しいは
politics.
ず。レース愛好者たちがそのような変化に背を向けたなら、それまでのことです。そのあたりについては。
だからこそこの大会なのです、影明様。ファンが待ち望んだこの大和 GP で勝利を収めれば、
They'll be the
人
first
気は
heroes.
そのチームに集まります。
あとはその人気を背景に賭博家への支持を得ていけばよろしゅうございましょう。
Mhm.
もっともこれは 反対派にも同様のことが言える理屈でございますが。
なるほど。推進派の小京、反対派の田村。いずれにとってもこの大和グランプリが天王山ということですか。
I'm yawning. Give me a sec. I choked on that one because I tried to talk when I was yawning. Ugh. The picture's starting to come together. While there is no concrete evidence as of yet, we have found our prime suspects.
田村か、小京か。
おそらくはどちらかが。
どちらも明日の本予選に参戦いたしますね。
なら明日にはわかるってわけだ。
Tomorrow. The final race is until the day after, but for me at least, looks like tomorrow will decide matters.
小京の方だといいんだけどな。
Yeah, you always want to be the people you don't like. Not saying that's a bad thing, that's just like human nature. As coincidence would have it, Ichijo says exactly what I was thinking. Dude, I'm just like flubbing everything today. Oh. Don't go to sleep at weird times, people. It messes with your brain.
ミサオちゃん、こっちもよろしく頼むよ。
はい。
Oh, hey. Hey, oh, hey, ooh, doing what you gotta do, huh?
たまらん。ミサオちゃん、こっちもだ。もっと深く加えてくれ。
はい。
Hey, I'm probably gonna have to make some edits here, aren't I? Yep. Knew it.
おーい、吸い付く吸い付く。いい感じだよ、ミサオ
See
ちゃ
you
ん。
guys after the cut. Is it over? All right, great. Hello, YouTube folks. That was something. Yeah, yep. Stuff happens. TLDR. God, what's the girl's name? You know, the racer. They never really said her name in there. I wonder if I go into like the where is it? The settings. Config? Maybe? Can we get voices? There's like where is it? Individual character voices. Yeah. Misao. That's who it is. Enter an ad where like, oh, with a bunch of the team sponsor executive guys, and it's like, oh, they're just having a big old gangbang with her, huh? And her dad's just there, hanging out, because they gotta convince the company execs to sponsor their team somehow. So that's how they do it. They don't really want to from a business standpoint, but they're like, you know, if you let us have a piece of that meat, you know, we'll do whatever you say. And yeah, it was kind of awkward, not gonna lie. So yeah, that was something. All right, yeah, back to pretending that didn't happen. The next day, I arrived at the circuit a little later than the others. I had to follow up on the matters I discussed with the commissioner yesterday. Fortunately, the track is still empty. There's time before the preliminary starts.
ポリスチームにですか？
Well, yeah, we work for the police.
ああ、所長に依頼して手を回してもらった。我々は今後、
If
ポ
anything,
リ
we're
ス
just
チー
kind of
ム
like
の構成員
volunteers.
として行動することができる。
You know, help with setup, tear down, you know, go for things to and fro.
これが証明書だ。持っておけ。関係者以外は立ち入り禁止の区画にも、これを示せば堂々と入れる。昨日のように忍び込む必要はない。
はい。
だいぶ行動しやすくなりますね。逆にライバルチームの人間ということで警戒させてしまう場
Yeah,
合もあ
but
るかもしれませんけれ
it's all
ど。
in, you know,
そのあたりは
not in
臨機応
jest,
変
but
で
you
よ
know,
うございまし
in
ょう
the。spirit of good sportsmanship.
そうね。
Just then, the roar of the cannon announces the start of the preliminary. Swarms of crewmen leap into the pits and begin sending their racers onto the track. The humanoid bullets burst into motion, the roar of their guitarry drowning out the cannon's echoes. Louder still is the cheer that erupts from the stands. The race has begun.
どうですか？
Ichijo shouts, covering her ears. Yeah, you should have brought earplugs. Double hearing protection is a real good idea if you go to the tracks. This is Ichijo's first race. She must not have been ready for the noise. The Otori pairs appear unfazed. I scan the track. No sign of Shokyo or Tamura. They likely didn't want to risk damaging their machines in the chaos that rules the first few seconds of any race. An experienced play. As the pack enters the first corner, 2 or 3 machines collide and ricochet into the escape zone. One even slams headfirst into a sand trap. He's done for the day.
村正、現状報告。
該当機なし。ちなみに壁に突っ込んだあれは迅速な救助が必要。
そのようだ。
Someone will come out there with a fire extinguisher and spray him down. I'm sure the Muramasa can make out every detail from her perch on the control tower roof. Even my eyes can see enough to estimate the severity of the damage. Fortunately, the circuit staff is trained for this. A rescue crew immediately rushes out, douses the crux still flaming afterburners, and drags the pilot free of the wreckage. Looks like he'll survive. His machine, however, is off to the junkyard.
脆いのね。
Oh yeah, they're just made to go fast.
そういうものだ。仕方ない。
I understand where Muramasa's incredulity comes from. If it was Smith who lived in a time of war, I'm sure it's unthinkable that anyone would forge a Tsurugi that could be destroyed by a mere collision. While racing cruxes exhibit unparalleled low-altitude mobility, they lack the strength and durability that are essential for combat. Such qualities simply are not necessary. Racing crux only needs enough armor to protect the pilot's life, and even that is often stripped down to the bare minimum. Every other part of the design is devoted to speed and maneuverability, as it is the only way to build a winning machine. I answer Ichijo with a shake of my head, then go back to watching the brave pilots and their flying coffins. Still no sign of the 2 major contenders.
早くも一気突出しておりますね。
横端のスーパーハウンド。このラインナップでは敵なしでしょう。
機体だけでなく機種も一流です。ベルト駆動の翼をよく御している。
駆動ロスが少ないだけに制御が手強い部分もあるはずですものね。
Really?
教科書的なコーナー攻めもまずはお見事。
なあ、今日のこいつはどういうルールのレースなんだ？
昨日とおおむね同じでございますよ。規定時間内に達成したベストラップを競います。その上位20機が明日の決勝レースへの出場権を得られる次第で。
Gotta cull the weak.
じゃあさっさと始めた方が有利なんじゃねえのか？まだ出てきてないチームはだいぶいるよな。
基本的にその通りでございますが、慌てる小じはもらいが少ないとも申します。
ああ、そっか。
決勝進出がほぼ確実の実力チームにとって恐れるべきは敵よりも自己。頃合いを見て参加し、十分な記録を出したら速やかに退去する。
あ、もう引き上げてる。
そう、あのように。横端で
Cool,
ご
is
ざ
that a
い
good
ます
time?
ね。
I don't know how long this track is, or what the average is, or what the
1分27秒
qualifying
19。
time is.
なるほど、なるほど。
いい記録なのか？
上位5機のうちには間違いなく入ります。
Alright, good seed.
へえ。あれは何やってんだ？
はて、何か信号機が出たようでございますが、お嬢様、お分かりになりませんか？
What's the design of the flag?
向こう機構の通告ですね。25番イシュトラトカケ兵団さんのダガーアプティマに対して、どうやらアーチオーバー
Lizard
の
Warriors.
アーチオーバー？
コースの上にいくつもアーチがかかっていますでしょ。
Gotta fly low and
レーサ
fast.
ーは必ずあの下をくぐっていかなくてはならないのです。
ああ、なるほど。
Yeah.
そりゃそうか。あいつらは空飛んでるんだから、そういうルールがなけりゃコースなんて
Otherwise,
意
they
味
could
な
just,
いよね。
all stack on top of each other at different altitudes and just zoom around that way.
くぐり損ねた場合はそこから先の機構を無効にされてしまいますの。戻ってくぐり直さない限り。
Oh, brutal.
まあ、予選では大した問題ではありません。次の周回で気をつければいいだけのことですから。しかし、決勝レースでは致命的になります。
最小でも5秒から10秒のタイムロスは覚悟しなくてはならない。
Still hurts.
そうなれば勝利はまず無理だ。レースが荒れている場合は
Yeah, like
また
those
別
things
だ
you see in the Olympics where like everyone wipes out, like the 7 people in the lead just all crash. You know, I don't know if they're doing like their ice skating race or whatever, and then the person on the last just kind of just glides across the finish line and gets the gold.
ところで割と気になってたんですけど、港さんってもしかしてアーマーレースが好きなんですか？
I mean, sounds like he used to be.
好きだ。
I was president of my school's racing enthusiast club.
あ、やっぱり。じゃあ港さん、私に教えてくれませんか？レース。
お嬢様ピンチ。敵はあなたと趣味を合わせたいの構成に出てまいりました。この戦法は単純ながら男心に訴えるところ大、極めて有効です。
Yeah, he just wants to like autistically go off about his hobbies. It's a guy thing.
違う。私はただ
Uh-huh.
知っておけば捜査の役に立つんじゃないかと思って。
見事な建前でございます。では本音の方は？
Yeah, you know, because we're gonna be working together. You know, I want to maintain a good professional relationship.
何言わせやがる。乙女チック。
乙女チック。
口に接着剤塗るぞてめえら。港さんも何とか言ってください。
いいのか。レースのこと。発祥に
Yep,
始ま
here we
り、
go.
欧州での爆発的
Time
流行
to get the
ヤマトで
fucking
の爆発
autistic breakdown of like Gundam Universal Century lore.
4WD の発明、アクターバーナーの
No
登
girl
場、
can resist.
田村鉄鋼祭の偉業、横丹の怪物機、ハウンドの欧州侵攻、弘中兄弟の苦闘。話し始めたら1時間では終わらん。
Yeah.
いや、丸一日
You're
は
a
必
man
要
with a burning passion about literally
シャフト
anything.
駆動、チェーン駆動、ベルト駆動のそれぞれの長短について説明し、540型アフターバーナーの機構を図
If we
説。
don't cover the basics, you know, you're not gonna get anything.
そしてボールベアリングが駆動系に及ぼす影響の実態と避けて通れないアンダーステア対策について述べ、ミッドシップ構造の鋼材に移り、4翼独立サスペンション。これはホットボルトとその前後作品を比較評価して解説するのが最も分かりやすいが、であればまず順序として田村の 2WD 機における
It'll come up later.
ワ
It'll
ツ
be
の
on the
評価
test.
から
影明様、しっかりなさって。なんだかキャラが変わっていましたよ。
Hey, my man's allowed to have his passions. Leave him alone.
私が悪いの？
Yes.
殿方には押してはならないスイッチというものがあるのでございます。年齢、人格には一切関係なく。
つまりサンダーボルトの登場によって田村の欲はひとまず完成の領域へ到達を果たしたと言えるのだが、それは反面小京や横森との差を浮き彫りにしたとも言え。
まあそれはそれとして。
You guys just go to the concession stand. These two are gonna be here for a minute. Or just punch him in the throat. Something explodes against the side of my neck.
失礼。いささか我を。
もう影明様ったら
一条。話は暇のある時にしよう。
Mm-hmm.
今の俺たちにはやることがある。
We'll give you the lecture later.
はい、そうですね。
I returned my attention to the circuit. As before, the racers are jockeying violently for position. I watch with no small interest. It's a win-win being here. We get to continue our mission against Ginsego, but also we get to watch the races. How nice. And then we even get to go to the pits and look at the machines up close, even better. After several minutes passed with no significant developments on the track, I feel the urge to use the restroom. Excusing myself, I leave and head for the hotel adjacent to the track. Captain Otori joins me, saying that she wants to wash the sand out of her hair. I suppose that hair as long and luxurious as hers is difficult to maintain. So you're going all the way to the hotel to use the restroom? Okay. Bit of an odd thing to do. Because the armor races are as much an excuse for rich corporate sponsors to rub shoulders as they are a spectator sport, it is necessary to cater to those who require a certain level of accommodations. This hotel serves that purpose. Oh yeah, can't have the big rich people just go piss in the trough at the racetrack, bathroom. Or, they're just the ones who are just like in the ground. They don't even have the trough. It's just like, yeah, this is the piss wall. Fucking piss on it, and it's got like the little gutter, and it's all angled down so it drains. After finishing my business, I head to the captain's room, intending to escort her back to the circuit. However, I find myself too awestruck by the sheer majesty of the door to actually knock on it. If the door alone is this magnificent, how much must it cost to rent the room itself, I ponder. Best I can manage is a vague sense that if a police officer wanted to stay one night in such a room, he would have to be willing to spend the remainder of his month on the street. The captain's willingness to rent this room for the sake of mere shower certainly stems from a mentality that fiscally impaired civil servants can never hope to comprehend. After some moments, I finally steel myself to enter. Man, I already had to cut one scene out. Cut one scene out. Oh my god, I can't talk today. I think there's a gas leak in my house. Please don't make me do any editing. I don't want to see any fucking big titties out.
Hi.
I mean, it'd be great, love it, but, that just means more work on the back end for me. For you guys, you don't gotta worry about anything.
どうぞ。少々お待ちくださいましね。
I'll probably have to
ますから。
throw it's a little not leaving much to the imagination down there on the bottom. Fortunately, most text doesn't occupy the very bottom of the box, so I can throw a little camera blur on there, and that'll be good enough.
Huh.
For a moment, I doubt my own eyes. The captain is standing before me, her porcelain skin, flushed from the heat of the shower, covered only by a flimsy towel. There's nothing to hold back the steam rising from her shapely limbs. I can feel an erotic scent worming its way into my brain. But despite her nakedness, the captain's bearing is calm, regal even, as though to say that such concerns are beneath her.
明日のございますよ、お嬢様。
あら、どうして？
失礼いたしました。自分の方こそお迎えに上がるのが少々早すぎたようです。
いいですか、お嬢様。
Nah, she told you to come in.
妙齢の女性たる者、殿方に肌を見られたときは直ちに暴力衝動に支配され、攻撃を行わなくてはなりません。
Yep, you gotta fucking tsundere trope that.
この際は
Fucking
極め
bludgeon
て
him in the
苛
head with
烈に
something.
相手の意識を奪うだけの打撃を加える必要がありますゆえ、また方法は素手や武器による殴打よりも重量物による投擲が適切です。そこのブロンズ像などがよろしゅうございましょう。
せめてマグカップ程度にしていただけないものでしょうか。
Otherwise, I might end up losing more than just consciousness.
もう、バーやったら。他の方ならいざ知らず、影明様との間にそんな他人行儀な振る舞いなんていらないでしょ？
これはこれで親愛表現なのでございますよ。まあ、お嬢様のようなアプローチの仕方もありではございま
Yeah,
す
getting
が。
fucking bludgeoned? I mean, some people might be into it.
ねえ、影明様。
I catch a flash of something alluring and vaguely cat-like in her slitted eyes.
このバスタオルの下、お尻になりたい？
はい。
Well,
ご無理はなさらないで。正直におっしゃってくださったら、私。
お嬢様、
yeah.
脳内脚本に準拠して話を進めません
This
よ。
isn't a teenage boy you're dealing with. This is a man. A man with needs.
あら？影明様？
自分は女性を好みます。特に
Yeah,
太陽
girl,
の
show
よう
me
に
how
お
those
美しい
titties
方
fart.
は素肌を見せていただけるなら喜んで拝見いたしますが。
港様、お会いした時よりむっつりスケベであろうと拝察しておりましたが、
Yeah, he's just
実はむっ
straightforward.
つりですらなく単にスケベであられたとは。
It's good for a guy who doesn't understand social cues.
侮れのお方でございます。この際を感服つかまつりました。
恐縮です。
その。
影明様、マナーでございますよ。 とりあえず扉はお閉めくださいませ。
People in the hall don't gotta see this.
これは失礼いたしました。
さあどうぞお嬢様。
どうぞって。
ほほ、いかがされましたかお嬢様。
Yeah,
先ほどの勢いで。
oh, you
さあ
didn't offer to show. You just asked if you wanted to see.
おやおや、これはどうしたことでございま
Is
しょう。
Sayo just gonna sit here though? If like if it comes to that, is it gonna be like when the cat or the dog is like just stays in the room, and it's like well, you either toss it out and it just like whines at the door and scratches the entire time, or it just stays there kind of like off in the corner doing its own thing, and you just gotta ignore it looking at you.
このサヨメの主人は口だけの女では決してないはずなのでございますが、港様、お分かりに
I
な
don't know
ら
how
れ
to
ます
feel
か。
about that.
さすがでございます。ええ、あのままお嬢様のペースで話が進んでいたならば、肌の一つや二つ笑ってみせられたことでしょうが、しかしなんたることか。ここに至って弱点が露呈。お嬢様は受けに回るとやたら弱かったのでございま
Oh
す。
god, don't go talking about fucking ukes and semes.
ほっほ。
影明様、なんと言いますかしら。ここは少しばかりムードに欠けるというか、乙女のときめきを司る
Yes, your
第五元
unabashed
素萌えが
lust
鉄
scares
槌
the
以下という
hoes.
か。ですので、
逃げております。全力で逃げを打っておりますよ、お嬢様。
逃げてません。わかりました。
Uh-huh.
少々お待ちくださいまし。大丈夫。別
Yeah,
に
let the switch
とってこと
catch
ない
your breath.
とってことない。
Kind of reconstitute.
ご無礼。
はい。
戯れが過ぎました。外にて待っており
Thank
ま
you.
す。
I didn't want to have
飯
to
島
cut
に
out
お続
anymore.
けください。
Any more scenes? Because that
ああ、すぐに
just
済ませ
takes
ますよ。
longer to upload my videos because I gotta upload it to two sites.
どうかごゆるりと。
The segments go in
失礼します。
mega, down in the comments down below. I mean, not in the comments, down in the description down below. Those don't take too long. It's always like 10, 20 minutes. So those are up in like that. They process real quick too. Another reason why I need to upgrade my computer fucking sucks. It takes like an hour to export like a hour and a half video. So it's like, I'll finish recording. Like, say I get up, I sleep in, I'm a little lazy bones. I get up, I record at like 10 or whatever. I finish, it's like, alright, cool. I want my videos up by like noon. But even though I'm done recording, I then have to sit around for another hour, just letting it go in the background.
さあ、お嬢様、お着替えを。
何かしら。こう途方もなく敗北感を覚えるのだけど。
まあ、
Total lack of
負
control
け
of the
ておりまし
situation.
たし、お嬢様もまだまだ未熟者でございます。
I'll take a little minor editing work there. That was easy at least. No shifting sprites. CG didn't change. I just gotta put one big blur down at the bottom and then I'm golden. I return to the stands, having attended to my business. That's when it happens. An announcement over the loudspeakers heralds the arrival of a new team. Team Shokyo Weapon Systems, the Seven Knights of Sanjo. Yo, that's a mean-looking machine! The machine that appears resembles the original Optima, the successor of Dagger Optima, and an offshoot of Partisan. But it is none of those, as its mighty golden wings attest. Also weird, what's with like your like retaining cotter pins just on the outside? That can't be good for aerodynamics. Racer? Kuruma go.
やはりチェーンドライブできたか。しかし、
あの鋼鉄、あれは和鉄ではございま
No,
せ
it
ん
looks like
な。
carbon fiber.
ええ、間違いありません。憂鬱鋼です。全身すべて。
You know, I've heard the term woot steel before, but I don't actually know what it refers to. Oh, it looks like Damascus steel. Interesting. Serix steel is a crucible steel characterized by patterned bands and high carbon content. These bands are formed by sheets of microscopic carbides within a tempered martensiite or pearlite matrix in higher carbon steel, or by ferrite and pearlite banding at lower carbon steels. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay. What's so special about it? India woot steel are often believed to have been used to forge Oriental Damascus swords. Yeah, it's basically... Is woot steel Damascus? That's what I want to know. Crucible or roots. Okay, cool. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Crux. Ultima Thule. You know, that's a banger.
憂鬱鋼って聞いたことあるけど、インドの鉄だろ？
ええ、生産量がごく少ないのです。けれど重量飛強度に優れる憂鬱鋼はレーサークルスの材料としてまさに理想的。
これまではごく一部のハイエンドモデルが翼などの重要箇所にだけ用いておりま
Let's
した。
see. Going
その
from my
最高級
memory,
鋼材を
Thule
よもや
is
こ
like
こまで惜しみなく投入して
It's kind of like
剣を
a
作るとは。
Greek Roman mythology, kind of like the most north point of the world. And I guess Ultima is to make it sound cool. It's also a zone in Final Fantasy XIV.
どうなるんだ？
すぐにわかる。サーキットを見ろ。
え？
Something extraordinary is unfolding on the track. The Golden Wing Crux is flying down the straight. Its speed is no greater than that of the surrounding racers. However, it is flying at comparative speed within seconds of takeoff.
どういうことです？
Fucking
これ
0 to 60 in that.
怪物がいるということだ。無論鳴らし運転を十分にこなしていたのだろうが。
異常という他はない加速性でございます。完全憂鬱構成という特徴がもたらす常識外の軽量さであれを実現しているのでありましょうか。
あの加速性は決勝レースで真価を発揮するはず。スタート直後の乱戦をあの威力で切り抜けて、あとはひたすらトップを走り続けるのでしょう。ね。
Don't gotta worry about the crowd at the, the crowd crunch at the beginning. If, like, you're instantly past them. We watch speechless, and we're not alone. The cheering spectators have fallen silent, every one of them entranced by the golden machine. Amidst this unnatural silence, Shoko's Ultima Thule, their ideal, dominates the track with its majesty of with the majesty of a king. 2, 3. As the laps mount up, the machine's terrifying power begins to reveal itself. Lap 5. 1 minute, 26 seconds, 0.89 seconds. Lap 6. 126.44. Lap 7.
1分26秒27。
まだ走ってるけど、まだ記録は伸びるってことか。
Make with the earth, baby!
さよ、さっきのスーパーハウンドの記録はどうでしたかしら。
1分27秒19でありましたかと。
Cool.
実に1秒近い差でございますね。
1 second. In armor racing, that's an eternity. And that is the gap that exists between Ultima Thule and Yokotan's Superhound. The machine that, though in the hands of a European pilot, once conquered the world. I see movement in the pit. Yokotan's crew is scrambling to get the racer back on the track. It's hopeless, and meaningless moreover. Defeating Shokyo in the preliminary won't accomplish anything. They should just sit back and observe the rivals, now that their entry in tomorrow's race is assured. Logic aside, however, I understand how the Yokotan team must feel. They must be panicking. Even if they are allies in the gambling dispute, I doubt Shokyo told them about their new design. Perhaps Yokotan was hoping to steal the crowd and take control of the sport once gambling was legalized. They can't accept that their dream has been dashed to pieces.
荒っぽい走りですね。
あれは早く引かせた方がいい。
Knees weak,
消去
arms
が
heavy.
下がっていきます。
13周で切り上げたようでございますね。記録は
Here, the familiar din of the crowd finally returns. Cries of amazement go up from the stands as everyone looks to the scoreboard. 125.97. If memory serves, that score is within less than a second of the record set by the reigning world champion when he was invited from Europe for the Kamakura Circuit's opening ceremonies. Shokyo's team has taken the lead, and with more than a full second separating them from the rest of the competition. Might as well give them the cup now, I hear someone in the crowd mutter.
ですね。
はあ、これでは
The Torii pair seems to have the same opinion. Ichijo, meanwhile, frowns bitterly.
なんだよ。金で買ったようなもんじゃねえか。
そうだな。
Yeah,
だが、
they brought the best
レースは
machine.
そういうも
They're
の
gonna
だ。
win. What do you want?
金と、そして技術と、運と、
R&D budget,
それらの
baby!
総合力で勝敗が決する。
Sometimes if you need to, pawn off your daughter for, illicit activities with, your company execs in order to get the R&D funding, gotta do what you gotta do, huh?
どれか一つが抜きに出ていれば、他の
Libertarian
面で
dream.
劣っていても勝つことができる。資金面の優位は特に有効である場合が多い。
すいません、港さん。
Yeah.
私、
Like, I
やっぱりこの競技
do
は
not
あ
give
まり好
a
きになれないか
fuck
も。
about F1. Like, not a bit. It's just, like, so out of my wheelhouse and, like, area of, like, interest that I'm like... It seems like people don't even watch it for, like, the fucking races. They just want, like, the fucking inter-team drama. It's fucking, like, dude reality TV show for them. I can't blame her. While the strength of Shoko's Ultima is indeed awesome to behold, it also serves as a reminder of one of the disappointing realities of the sport. Pay to win, baby! I feel much as Ichijo does right now. The Ultima is impressive, but I can't bring myself to respect
騎
it.
手の力量も相当なものではありますけどね。あれだけの加速力を有する機体、つまりはジャジャ馬を乗りこなしているのですから。
車5とかいう名でしたか。はて、あまり聞いたことがございませんが。
Makes me think of like fighting games. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, you want like just the skill of the pilot to be the only deciding factor. It's like everyone always wants that fucking 5-5 Ryu versus Ryu matchup where it's like it completely everyone's playing with the exact same fucking skill set and like base stats, and it's all on the person, at the stick in order to, squeeze out that win. But then there's like no fun in that either. Some people might have a lot of fun with it, but variety's the spice of life, and if it's the exact same thing literally every single fucking time, then it's like, what's the point?
草レースでは知られた男です。レーサー養成団体、河津の穴を一人で叩き潰したほか、非公式に海外へ渡航して、欧州の選手と戦ったこともあるとか。
Cool.
また怪しげな経歴ですこと。
Yeah, good backstory for like a fucking manga character.
実力は確かに一級品です。
だったら、あんな金ピカの機体なんか使わないで、実力で勝負すりゃいいのに。
The ability to acquire a powerful machine is itself one facet of skill, but I know that Ichijo doesn't want to hear that. In any case, I seem to share her disappointment. I must have desired Tamura's victory more than I myself knew, and now, having beheld Shokyo's power, I cannot help but feel a certain hopelessness. I remember the girl polishing the ball bearings as though it were her father's own flesh and blood, which to her it was. No doubt Shokyo has its own reasons for what they do, reasons no less justifiable than Tamura's. Just because they're linked to Rokuhara doesn't mean they're evil. But if I am to be honest with myself, I must admit that I want to see Tamura win. Speaking of which,
田村はどうしたのでしょうか。
そろそろ出てくるようでございますよ、ピットからスタッフが。
following Miss Nagakura's gaze, I see crewmen wearing the familiar Tamura logo working busily near the start line. One of them looks like Oji Sugura, though with his hat covering his face, it's impossible to be sure. As the loudspeakers announce the last major competitor, spectators once again lift their voices in welcome. The cheers feel forced, however, like they're only doing it because they must. As far as the crowd is concerned, the race is already over. Even Shoko's longtime rival can't excite them now. Team, Tamura Ironworks, the Tamura Fighting Factory. The sight of the team working amidst the half-hearted applause is, quite frankly, pitiful. Like watching a once legendary boxer struggle to stay in the fight.
登場が少し遅いですね。セッティングに手間取っていたのかしら。
どうでしょう。予選で小京と張り合う具を知り、避け
Yeah,
た
it would
の
also
かも
not
しれ
look
ませ
great.
ん
Bad
な。
optics. Judging by the calm with which the crew goes about its tasks, Miss Nagakura's assessment is likely correct. In which case, Tamura made the right decision. It would indeed have been foolish to go head-to-head with that monster today. Some pilots say that they fly faster when they have a strong opponent to race against. Still, there has to be a limit. If a tortoise and a hare go to the track, the tortoise isn't suddenly going to find its inner strength necessary to match the hare. Racer Oji Misao. Suddenly, the cheers take on genuine enthusiasm. Misao is something of an idol among Yamatoan racing fans, with many drawn to the unique imbalance between her reserved demeanor and aggressive racing style. Older fans like myself also see in her the return of a childhood hero. Yet, even her fame is not enough to carry this crowd for long. The cheering dies down as, one by one, the fans remember just how far from victory this heroine is. And then she appears, armored and ready, emerging into the fading echoes of her applause like a feeble ray of sunlight between thick clouds. At last, her father's creation is revealed. Crux. That moment, the world seems to stop turning. All thoughts arrive at a single point, and in this instant of frozen time, each and every person mouths the same voiceless question. What is that? Damn, that thing looks like it goes fast as fuck. Is unlike any racing crux that has ever existed, private or corporate, Eastern or Western. Look at that, someone who actually understands aerodynamics. A Tsurugi? That's a Tsurugi? Its appearance is twisted, unnatural. Staring at it, I feel like the earth starts to tilt beneath my feet. Madness. The man who built this is mad. I want to pinch my cheeks and see if I'm dreaming. And yet, at the same time, another thought arises to form a precarious balance within me. Beautiful. The machine is heart-wrenchingly beautiful. Its form is sleek and curved. What might emerge, perhaps, were a deranged mathematician to express pi in Tsurugi form. Add to that the metallic blue paint, and you have a machine that calls to mind the fathomless sea and the infinite sky. Was it truly fashioned by the hands of men? Its beauty seems almost profane, brought in some strange world governed by unknown laws. Yet here it stands, in ours. Crux, Avenger.
なんなんですかあれ。
わからん。
あれは本当に田村の機体なのかしら。ホットボルトの系統とは全く
Damn, that
根
thing's
本
like
の構
fucking
造からして違うとしか考えられません。
two like airframe generations ahead. It's like when the Soviets fucking scared the US into developing the F-15 with the MiG-25. You know, just rocketed, you know, aviation technology like fucking 2 decades ahead early.
ホットボルトからスーパーボルト、チャクラム、そしてサンダーボルトと積み重ねてきた技術財産をほとんど無視しておりますね。あれは本当に走るのでしょうか。
どうでしょう。
They'd go fast.
田村始まって以来の打作になるかもしれません。その可能性はあります。すでにそう声高に言っているものも社内にはありますよ。
Now that I see his design firsthand, I cannot help but sympathize with his detractors. Surely no sane man can fathom the purpose of this machine.
発想。
影明様、
あの機体はまさしく異様です。他に言葉が見つかりません。しかし、強烈な思想性を感じます。素人がデタラメに組んだだけなのであれば、ああはならないでしょう。
同感でございます。何と申しましょうか。あの機体はあれだけ常識を無視したデザインをなされているにもかかわらず、まとまりがあると。
ええ。
そうですね。あの姿には明確で攻撃的な表現、激しい主張があるように
Come on, let's
私
see it
には
go.
見えます。
There's no other way to explain its beauty. It's not the natural splendor of a mountaintop honed by eons of wind and rain. No, just quite the opposite. It is as though a sculptor, consumed by blind faith in his own ability, took a lump of dull gray rock and hammered, carved, and chiseled until, by some miracle, he transformed it into a shining gemstone, the embodiment of his mad vision. It is art, driven by a singular purpose, a singular obsession.
その主張はどういう？
There's no way to answer without seeing it fly. I direct my attention to the racetrack, where Avenger is about to begin its run. The blue machine takes off from the starting line and glides quietly down the home straight. It accelerates at a perfectly average rate and enters the first corner at a perfectly normal speed. This corner is fairly shallow. Should not require much deceleration. All gas, no brakes.
今なんかバタバタしてなかった
It's
か？
called fucking hyper maneuverability.
ええ、まだ機体に慣れていないのかもしれません。
After another short straight, Avenger makes the second curve at an easy speed. This is not unusual for her first lap. It would seem slow, that is only because Shokyo's ultimate was too fast. Next is a long bank turn. She takes it gently.
攻めませんね。
まあ1周目でございますし。
So far, the machine has done nothing to live up to its outrageous design. In the crowd, disappointment wars with anticipation of what might come in the next lap. As my own amazement recedes, I recall my true purpose here.
村正、あれは
違う。
確かか。
怪しい部分は何もなし。相変わらず
Interesting.
銀星号の気配は感じるけれど、
I guess it'd be too simple.
あれとは関わりないようね。
そうか。
To be honest, this comes as something of a shock. Instinct was telling me that it had to be that machine. The mad passion evident at the core of its design seems to be exactly the sort of thing that would interest Ginseigo.
ではウルティマはどうだった？黄金色の翼を持っていた機体だ。
同じく何もなしよ。今日これまでに見たものは全部白。これからまだ出てくるの？
いや、
Huh.
そろそろ打ち止めのはずだが。
What does this mean? It's not Tamura, not Shokyo, not any of the other racers? I scan the course. Every machine participating in the preliminary is there, or was there earlier. I'm certain that Tamura is the last of the teams. In which case...
跳ねた！
I gape in astonishment at what I just witnessed. All question of the ache's whereabouts has fled my mind. Upon entering the first hairpin, Tamura's Avenger did indeed appear to bounce, a phenomenon that occurs when a machine is unable to overcome the wind resistance generated by the speed of the turn. Rather than clinging to the inner curve, the Tsurugi was pushed to the outer edge of the track, its tail end sticking in the air like a drunken dancer. Significant time loss. Such clumsy cornering bears no trace of the technique that made Ojisugura a legend.
アンダーステアかと思えば。
リバースオーバーでしたね。よくあのまま横転しなかったものとは思いますけれど。
Piece of junk. I cannot help but judge it so, though I keep the thought to myself out of respect for the OG pair. Groans and shouts of dismay can be heard from the crowd. No doubt more than a few fans hope that Tamura's new design would be able to challenge Shoko's. Here and there, spectators rise from their seats, frustration plain on their faces. Though the guests in the VIP section are particularly quick to make their departure, the same sentiment is slowly spreading throughout the entire stadium. There's nothing more to see here today.
何よあのみっともない機体。あんなものをマロのレースで走らせるつもりなの田村は。
Man, fucking everyone's here.
許せないわね。美意識には反するけど、ひねり潰してやろうかしら。はあ、ぜひにもそうなさるべきです。来庁夫人とお呼びなさい。申し訳ありません、来庁夫人。実は召喚、かねてより小教兵長に比べ報告の志が薄く、自社の利益追求ばかりに熱心な田村工業のことを苦々しく思っておりました。そこへ来て中将、来庁夫人を侮るがごときこの振る舞い、もはや断固たる処置のほかはなしと存じます。
Time to start nationalizing some industries, huh?
そうね。あなたの義弟の願いを聞き入れてやることにしましょうか、大久保。はっ。
まあまあまあ、落ち着けよカニカマ。
誰がどうしたカニカマよ。
I can kind of steal with that hair pattern.
つまんねえことはやめとけって。ただでさえ下品な顔がもっと下品になっちまうから。まあ嫌だろ、今以上に品が下がるなんてさ。
真剣に心配してる面で何言うのよこのガキは。マルの顔の
Talking about the beauty of the soul.
もう一度よく見てから言ってみなさい。
カラカラカラ。旗で見てる分には愉快だよなこいつ。間違っても友達にはなりたくないけどね。
I don't think I'd want anyone here as a friend. You guys are all a bunch of fucking pieces of work.
こっちで願い下げよ。
そう？
恐れながら堀越公、我が主君に対しあまりに礼を欠く言動は。
Yeah, please stop stirring the pot.
指図するかのごときなさりをもっとうか。
You're making my life hard for me.
んだよね。戦力？
ご無礼いたしました。平にご容赦を。大久保、下がっていなさい。
Yeah, don't get caught in the crossfire.
田村のあれ、なかなか面白い機体じゃん。当てはいいと思うよ。
どこが？
いや、
I mean, it's
あれは
slick.
本当に面白いって。
The preliminary is almost over. Teams are beginning to return to the paddocks, and the crowd has lost all enthusiasm. Each team's best lap time is displayed on the large screen above the track. This late in the day, there are unlikely to be much changes in the rankings. Shoko's Ultima is still in the lead, of course. In second place is Semiworks RG10. As usual, Tsurugi manufacturers are dominant. After RG10 is Yokotan Superhound, followed by Kirago, Kamakura Matsui, and Gecko Armorworks. The rest are a mix of smaller corporations and private teams, separated from each other by milliseconds at most. Tamura is among them. The police team is 14th. Not bad, considering, which is why I don't understand why their hot bolt is still on the track. Starting position for tomorrow's races are determined by today's ranking, so it's understandable that they might want to cut down their time. Still, it seems rather reckless to continue after securing a place in the finals. Maybe they have an accident. It's about time for them to pull out, if you ask me.
田村がスピードを落としましたね。
あら、本当、ピットインするつもりかしら。でも、
Just kinda catching your breath for like one final push. I follow their gaze to see Tamura's Avenger completing the final turn. At a glance, it's obvious that its speed is indeed lower than one would expect for that turn. It'd be natural to assume that she intends to make a pit stop, if she hadn't already made one this race. In a prolonged race, multiple pit stops are required in order to refuel the Crux's afterburners. In the comparatively brief preliminary, however, one should be all you need. Could Avenger have sustained some internal damage? As I watched, the blue machine passes the pit. It glides softly into the main straight, and then it explodes. Literally or figuratively? For an instant, I am convinced that the machine's highly flammable afterburner fuel has ignited a massive fireball, scattering flesh and steel across the track. It's only an illusion, a vision of death and destruction forced through my mind by the deafening roar of the Tsurugi's engines. In truth, there was only light. A beam of metallic blue light blazes down the main straight like a comet. Fast as fuck, boy! There's no time to speak. Surely there must be some intelligent response to a 140-kilometer fastball turning into a bullet right before your eyes. But before I can define what it is, the blue flash has reached the first corner. Air brakes. No, it's too fast. Nothing can turn at that speed. It's gonna crash. It crushes the turn, plowing through with brute force.
そんな。
お嬢様、お下品でございますよ。
普通空中分解とかし
That's
な
what
い
I
か
said, hyper-maneuverability, baby. Just so aerodynamic, it just goes whoop. Pretty much has like no lift characteristics and is just boosting on thrust. The turn is appalling, with no heed paid to balance or efficiency. But it works. She turns at that speed. And it's no fluke, I realize, as before my eyes, the relentless charge continues. S-curve, shallow bank, 130R. Dahmer's Avenger smashes through every obstacle without anything that even approaches proper deceleration. Has there ever been a racer as crude, as ugly, as fast as this? No, at least not in this world. What can this be then but a demon straight from hell? Avenger goes screaming into the back straight, then clears it before I have time to blink, let alone draw breath. Next is the spoon curve. It powers through. That curve has crushed the pride of every challenger thus far, forcing them to prostrate themselves before it should they seek the right to pass. Yet even its august majesty cannot daunt the usurper, laying waste to the track now. Oji Misao takes the turn unheeding, and leaves it broken and beaten behind her. This is no longer a race, it is a conquest, an exercise of pure force, pure violence.
これだこれだこれを作りたかったこれを作りたかったんだこれなら超えられるぞ世界を超えられる
Oh, let's see that final time first.
ウイングが変動している。
態度の
動いています。あのリアウィングが、コーナーへ入るときにあれが機体を押し流そうとする気流を叩き伏せているのです。
As far as you can see that from here.
そういえば耳にしたことがあります可変式ウイングマウントという構想を実用化する人間がいるとは思いませんでしたが
パワー過剰の中枢設計流線形の鋼鉄低角度のダンパー可変式ウイング結果は直線におけるスコーチと曲がればいいという程度のコーナリングむちゃくちゃな機体でございますね
しかし確かに思想はありました
ええ私にもわかりますあの機体が言いたいことは
Avenger bursts from the last corner, screams down the home straight, and crosses the finish line. Its time is
早けりゃいいそれだけなんだそれだけしか考えてないんだ
126.8. Second place. In a single bound, Dahmer's Avenger has put itself within striking distance of Shokyo's Ultima.
どうよ
まあいいわこれで明日の決勝も楽しくなり
At
そ
least now
う
we got a match on our hands.
マロの大会に花が添えられるのは喜ばしいよ。田村の健闘を叩いてあげましょう。いかんな。予想外だ。
Yeah, no crushing victory, you know, for the state favorite.
どうしました？
The crowd goes wild around us. Something catches my eye in the hairpin turn on the far side of the track.
事故か。
煙が上がっておりますね。サンドトラップに突っ込みましたか。
あら、
お嬢様。
タイ、何か。
Yeah, what?
影明様、あれ。
はい。
ポリスチームです。
Oh. How you doing, Hot
いか
Bolt?
がですか。
どうにもならんね。
Ah, fuck.
田村さんに持って行って修理してもらうことにはここじゃどうしようもない。
Replies the mechanic who is inspecting the damaged hot bolt. His answer is about what I expected. Around us, the other team members mill about purposelessly. No one seems suspicious of us. They'll have heard from the commissioner that we're here on investigation. Even if we were complete strangers, though, I doubt anyone could work up the willpower to throw us out. Not after climbing to 11th place only to get greedy and lose their chance to compete in tomorrow's final. An air of dejection permeates the garage. The team leader announces that they'll be leaving after they eat, to which the crew responds listlessly. This presents something of a problem. A personal one, though I do sympathize with the team's loss. We have not yet located the infected Tsurugi, which means that it must be among the spare machines that have not run on the track. Otherwise, I can only assume that the enemy is somehow concealing its true nature from Muramasa. Muramasa assures me that that is impossible. But then, that's what I would have said about an invisible, undetectable Tsurugi before I faced Fuma Kotaro in the other day. That villainous creature successfully pulled the wool over our eyes. There's no guarantee that our current opponent is any less resourceful. Muramasa will never admit, of course, that she might fail to recognize the very enemy she was forged to destroy. But we don't have the luxury of indulging her pride. That said, for now it does seem appropriate to prioritize any Tsurugi that we haven't checked. It seems with a surplus of funding, usually have a spare crux and racer on hand in case of accidents. The egg might well be found with one of those pairs. Words are hard. My brain doesn't work. If the police team leaves now, it will throw a wrench into our plans. We need them to justify our presence here.
T クルスで参戦。
いや持ってきてないよ。うちの練習切ったらあれだもの。田村のアーマージャンプ。あんな骨董品いくらなんでもこの大会には出せないでしょ。
True, a machine of that vintage would serve only to draw the crowd's laughter. Shoko's Scorpio, widely regarded as a masterpiece, is about the only crux from that era that could still put up a fight. Looks like the police team and I have the police team has no choice but to leave. I could ask them to come up with a reason to stay, but they wouldn't appreciate that. Defeated teams are traditionally expected to make a graceful exit. I'll have to find another way.
港さん、食事調達してきました。
ありがとう。
I mean, your badges are still good, you know.
あら、ご苦労様。お茶まであるなんて行き届い
Unless you get issued like new like team badges every single day.
細やかな気配りでございます。さすがは屋根様。
誰もお前らの分があるなんて言ってねえんだけどな。まあいいや。ほら。
Ichijo hands us onigiri and canned tea, which I assume came from the racetrack store. It's hardly a feast, but it's quick and simple. Exactly what I need right now. Thoughtful indeed. I'll expense it later. I decide while unwrapping one of the onigiri.
そういやなん
Damn,
か
really gonna put
変
that
な
on
連
your
中がいたな。
your finance voucher? You know, the $2 you spent for like convenience store. I'm not even convenience store. Fucking vending machine food. Okay.
変？
というと、ストリーキング集団ですかしら。
それは迷惑でございますね。
そういう方向じゃない。なんか物騒っつうか、さっきだった奴らがその辺をうろうろしてて。
Okay.
でも態度は何気なさそうなんだよな。それが余計に怪しいっつうか。
Huh.
気にしすぎではありませんの？今はレースの最中なんですもの。参加者は誰しも殺気立ってましたよ。
Nah, not the like competitive, you know, out for blood. Like I'm gonna fucking bludgeon someone to death out for blood.
まあそうなんだろうけどさ。
敗退したチームが勝ち残ったチームに嫌がらせでもしようとしているのかもしれません。なんとも情けない話でございますが、これがありえない話でも珍しい話でもなく。
でもヤマトではあまり聞きませんね。
I'd be saying.
国民性の違いというものでしょうか。それはさておき、影明様。
はい、態度の。
これからどうなさいますの？
That's what we're working on.
自分もそれを考えていたところでした。
私たちポリスチームの人間ってことになってるんですよね。この人たちが帰ると私たちがここにいる理由もなくなっちゃうわけですか？
そういうことになる。事前に想定はしていた事態だが、今日中に標的を発見して今日中に決着をつければ良いだけの話だと考えていた。この目論見はすでに崩壊している。不覚にも本予選が終了した現時点において未だ敵の特定に至っていない。決着には今夜中を。
Just stay in the facility and start sneaking around. You know, this now a sneaking mission.
したがってもうしばらくこの参加者専用の区画にとどまるための名目が必要だ。
意外に難題ではないかしら。決勝前ともなれば皆さんピリピリしていらっしゃるでしょうし、そうなるといい加減な嘘は通用しそうにありません。
Yeah, a little different from the prelims when you can just kind of go around and fucking schmooze with the other teams.
スタッフをよく観察してあわよくば予備用の剣まで見せていただこうというのですからね。
全くに。その意味でポリスチームの人間という立場は理想的だったのですが、参加者なので行動はほぼ自由。
Yeah.
加えるに
Also being
優
like,
勝を
you know,
狙える強豪
the
というわけで
local
もなく、
police team. You
他
know,
のチームの警戒心も
It's
さほど
like
に
you're-
も刺激しません。
I'm not gonna say, you know, you're not there not to win, but it's kind of like expected. There's no shot you're gonna win this thing. You're just here to put on a good show. You know, do your best. So it's like people are gonna be a little more open to be kind of friendly with you because you're not a real threat. So it gives you a bit of an extra in, you know, with the other teams. But yeah,
まことその通りでございますね。
I looked away before
どう
he
にか
finished
して
speaking.
ここな警察の方々に明日の決勝へ参戦していただく方法はないものでしょうか。
I have a bad habit of looking away from the monitor when I start like going off on tangents.
現実的ではないな、却下。
困りましたね。
なーに、簡単。お兄さんが出ればいいんだにゃ。
What, with the fucking hunk of junk Muramasa? You know, sure, it's a great machine, but you know, the thing's a brick. I turned to see a striking boy, no girl, grinning up at me. The crew members stare at the newcomer, but no one says a word. The VIP badge on her shoulder demands some sort of welcome, but they have yet to recover from the shock of her arrival. She doesn't seem to mind.
失礼。来賓の方とお見受けいたしますが、ご紹介をいただいてもよろしくありましょうか。自分は港影明と申します。
苦しゅうない。あちしは弾丸ライガーを名乗るしがない荒野の放浪者といった風情のものである。
What? Huh?
ライガーと呼ぶがよい。
了解しました、ライガーさん。
ライガー？
It's a mix between a tiger and a lion. Oh, a half-breed.
ああ、そっちはお兄さんの連れか。じゃああんたらにも改めまして自己紹
Yeah, they were
介
talking about it
を。
last time how Chachimaru's you know, what is it? I'm pretty sure it was Chachimaru they're talking about, you know, is like half a Mishi.
ああ、私はと思ったけど、まあいいあたりし。ぶっちゃけ前視点だと君らまとめてその他大勢1パック30円くらいの商品なのでかなり本気でどうでもいい。 というわけで
Yeah, nothing
本題に
personal.
入ります。
港さん、ヤニワにすっげえムカつきます、こいつ。
我慢しろ。
What else can I say? Liger strides up to the damaged crux. The mechanic scurry to get out of her way, but she pays him no mind. She places her hand on the armor, then wraps it once with her knuckles and presses her ear against the fuselage.
はあ、ダメだねこりゃ。
お分かりですか？
サスがやられてる。あとシャフトがひん曲がってて、駆動系のギアが1個脱落って思われたな。
Yeah, that sounds pretty fucked. You don't want a bent drive shaft. The mechanic gapes. No wonder. She just summed up the very report that he made a few minutes ago. The girl needed only a second to reach the same conclusion as a seasoned professional.
ご推願です。我々も先ほどメーカー修理に出さねばどうにもなるまいと結論しておりました。
うんにゃ、出してもダメだよ。
Oh, things just totaled?
とは、
中枢のフレームが歪んでる。
Yep.
これはどう頑張っても直せない。もう年なのさ。これレーサークルスとしてはありえねえくらい大事に長く使い続けてきたんだろ。
そこまでお分かりになるのですか？
ライガーですから。
Okay,
触っただけじゃ
sure.
わからんけどね。音を聞けば大体のと
That,
こは
that
見
wasn't
え
an
てしまう
appropriate
のです。
response for what he just asked, but, you know. You do you, I guess. Not sure what to make of the statement. The crew members within earshot also appear thoroughly
つ
confused.
うわけでさ、こいつもう休ませてやってくんない？これ以上無理に使うと背骨がボキッといっちゃうから。
は、
お疲れ、兄弟。
She plants a soft kiss on the Crux's helmet, then walks back to us, leaving the flabbergasted crewman behind.
お兄さん、
はい、
当ての言いたいことは分かってると思う。
わかりません。
よろしい。人は常に自分の知性に対して謙虚でなくてはならないのだ。その謙虚さを持つ人間だけが契約金0円という売り文句に騙されなくて済むゆえに。つまりお兄さんは月々の使用料や解約手数料をちゃんと確認するだけの慎重さを示したと言えよう。これは当てにとって大変喜ばしい
So
こ
what you
と
gotta
で
do,
ある。
baby.
恐縮です。
Free 2-week trial, then you forget about it, then you get charged $20 when it fucking re-ups at the end of the month.
通じ合ってるのか。
当のご本人方が気にしていないのなら、まあ問題はないのではありますまいかと。
Even if their words aren't making sense, their wavelengths are synced up.
だが戦士よ、その謙虚さを臆病さにつなげることなかれ。なぜなら好奇心は猫を殺し、寂しさはウサギを殺し、臆病さはライオンを殺す。
Okay.
緑色の都でもらえる 100% 有機汁でどうにかなる問題ではない。あれはプラシーボ。つうか本物だったらもっとダメだ。多分法的によって当ては告げねばならぬ。港影焼き。
はい。
運命の時は来た。
Uh-huh.
は、
Earlier than I expected.
今こそ戦いの荒海へ乗り出すべし。必要な力は当てが用意する。
力？
These two are a fucking dangerous pair.
そっちの声だけ聞いてどうするの？魂言語はサラウンドだったりすることが多いからちゃんと全部聞きなさい。
Someone who just takes
今のは
everything
剣
at
と
face
書いて
value and
力と読む
someone
感じ
who
の
just
表現な
says
のです。
literally fucking nonsense that the other person's just like, oh yeah, of course. How could I have not realized?
なるほど。つまりどういうことですか？
レースでない？
はあ。
So that's what she was getting at.
当てがクルスを用意する。お兄さんがそれを使って出
Oh,
場
okay,
する。
great.
そうすればポリスチームはリタイア戦で済むってことですね。
疑問が多々ありますが、まず一つ。正規の騎士を差し置いて自分が出る理由がありません。
And we need to get jealous fucking Muramasa, you know, getting all sun that you're in another machine. The police team only has one pilot, the same one who crashed in the preliminary. His injuries, while not negligible, are nothing compared to the damage sustained by his Tsurugi. He can still race.
怪我人は寝かせとく方向でどうよ。だいたい万全の走りができる状態じゃないんでない？体は平気でも中身はわからないよ。
That makes sense.
事故った直後
A
のレ
little
ーサーってのは
unconsciously cagey.
それは確かにそうです。しかしそもそもレーサーではない自分よりは。
あれ、お兄さんレーサーじゃないの？その筋肉のつき方、水泳選手によく似たバランスで要所要所の太さがちょっと違う。剣使いにしか見えないんだけどにゃ。
Well, you know, that 0% body fat from it, like, consuming your life force to fly. Yeah, I guess a lot of the pilots would look similar. You have the same, like, 0% body fat build. It's not surprising that she'd be familiar with the particular physical attributes that Tsurugi pilots possess, given that she has just demonstrated intimate familiarity with Tsurugi themselves. I merely spoke the truth about my not being a racer, but it'd be foolish to deny it further. How would I then explain sharing those attributes? I must proceed with caution here.
レーサーではありませんが、過去にその真似事のようなことをしていた経験はあります。
ほうほう。ずーっとどっかの会社でテストユーザーでもやってた？
はい。甲府のとある企業がレースへの参入を企画した際に雇われて、結局その企業の経営悪化で企画は頓挫したんですが。
Is there a grain of truth in this, or are you just fucking pulling shit out of your ass?
小規模のレースになら数度参加しました。
This is not a lie, though I have embellished it somewhat. In the summer of last year, my pursuit against Sego led me to infiltrate such a company as a test pilot.
なんだ。
Okay,
じゃ
yeah.
あ何も問題ないね。
いえ、非常に多く存在します。まず剣が。
当てが用意するってばさ。個人的に作らせたサンダーボルトのハイチューン、その名もテラブリンガー。四翼ダンパーにフルベア仕様のけなぎに成長した可愛い子よ。あのアベンジとかいう無茶苦茶な新型さえ出てこなけりゃ田村の主役になっていたかもしれないんですよ。
Saying hop on the track, you know, in the finals with a new machine that you haven't driven before, you know, that's asking to do a lot.
はあ。
Seems to have mixed feelings about it.
そいつを貸し出すからさ、これでいいでしょ？
しかし、自分には保証金を支払う能力が。
A very, very pragmatic response.
いらないそんなの。好きに使って好きにぶっ壊してくれりゃいいか
Spoken
ら。
like a fucking rich kid. She speaks of setting a fire to a veritable ocean of money. Her family must be quite wealthy.
そもそも自分は騎手として登録されておりませんので。
何かするよ。
VIP,
今夜の
baby!
うち
We
に
can fucking hand wave all that. Rubber stamps all around. She speaks of imposing her will upon the racing commission with all the grace and subtlety of a sledgehammer. Her family must be quite influential as well.
パンチオッケー。
お待ちくださいまし。私からも少々構いませんかしら。
Captain Notori speaks up just as I'm searching for a reply. There's something strange about her expression, and about the distance she keeps from Liger, as though she were trying to put an invisible barrier between them. Yeah, constantly, you know, kind of looking away, half face turned with her hand up, being like, try not to make eye contact. Come to think of it, she hasn't said a word since the girl appeared. Such pronounced reticence is unlike her.
何かな？全く面識のないお姉さん。
Uh-huh.
ごく簡単なことです、ライガーさん。どうしてそこまで肩入れなさいますの？あなたが。
Is it just my imagination that her question, too, seems to carry certain overtones? Either way, the girl shows no sign that she's detected any veiled meaning in the captain's words.
そりゃ、ポリスチームにリタイアされたくないから。
Yeah,
決まってんじゃん。
underdogs are good for like the showing.
この大会、小京と田村の争いが、つまりはアーマーレース賭博家推進派と反対派の争いだっつうことについては、今さらくだくだしい説明なんていらんよね。
はい。
What, you want to throw in a random dark horse?
で、当ては反対派。当ての周りには賛成派の連中もいるけどね。まあ、知ったこっちゃない。せっかくのレースを金臭いもんにしたくないこっちとしちゃ、反対派に勝ってもらわんと困るわけであ
I
りま
don't
す
know
よ。
how it works.
ところが決勝進出、20チームを見てみると、
It's like two buckles. I'm gonna assume that belt goes around both ways. You know, it's one belt, but it has two buckles, and like it folds back on itself. What a weird fucking belt. Fashion is definitely a word.
反対派って呼べるのは2位の田村と11位のポリスだけ。あとはみんな推進派か、でなけりゃ中立。これでポリスまで抜けたら完全孤立だ。立場上賭博家に賛成するわけにはいかない警察だけが田村の唯一の味方だったってのにさ、手こ入れしたくもなろうってもんでしょ。
なんでさ、要は田村がトップを取ればいいんだろ。仲間がいるかどうかなん
It's good to have
てそんなに
insurance.
重要なことか。
Liger lifts her hands to the height of her shoulders, palms held facing to the ceiling, before proceeding to shake her head back and forth. She finishes off with a snort and a condescending gaze from a 30-degree up angle.
港さん、私こいつと同じ天の下で生きていく自信がありません。
You're just have a bad type matchup against her.
耐えろ。
What else can I say?
レースは個人競技だが、それは栄誉を受けるのが首位ただ一騎だけだからであって、その点を度外視すれば集団戦にしてしまうことも可能だ。例えば、ライバルとなり得る機体を仲間に囲ませて動きを封じ、その間に自分は悠々とトップを奪う。
それって反則にならないんですか？
無論、露骨な機構妨害は反
Just have,
則
you
にな
know,
る。
let your
だが
buddy
それは露
draft
骨でな
behind
けれ
you,
ば
and
良
then
いということでもあるし。
when he gets an opening, you can just blast ahead and then win. It's like, sure, you might not win, but your team did. And, you know, that's good.
そもそも自分の勝敗を無視してしまえるのなら、反則でも何でもためらう理由はない。極端な話、田村の機体を攻撃、破壊して退場。残った小強が勝つ。という手さえある。
They probably won't go that far, when their objective is to secure the approval of the fans. Still, less violent sorts of interference are definitely a possibility.
そんな時、田村に一気でも味方がいればだいぶ違うってわけ。そしてもしそいつがバイタリティの持ち主なら、雑魚どもを一手に引き受けて田村のハンディを帳消しにしちゃったりさえするかもしれんね。
つまりは、それを期待
Yep,
されてい
just
る
run
のですか。
interference.
できるっしょ、お兄さんなら。
だいぶん買いかぶられているように思えて
Yeah,
なりません。
we've just met.
そっかな。
The girl smiles, as though I just claimed that the sun revolves around the earth. Well, we've only just met. For the life of me, I can't fathom why she trusts me so. And aside, however, I'm already fairly certain what my answer will be. I scan the faces of my companions. Ichijo, despite her clear dislike of the girl, appears to have at least accepted her reasoning. I'm not surprised that Ichijo's sympathies would lie with Tamura and their challenge against Shoko and its Rokuhara backers. The Otori pair's expressions are unreadable, but this comes as no great shock.
率直に申し上げて、興味がまるでないわけではありません。自分も少年期にアーマーレーサーを夢見たことがありますから。
うむうむ、男の子なら核あるべし。
Gotta go
しか
fast.
し、自分の身体能力がレースに耐える状態にあるかどうか疑問です。その点は体を動かしてみて確かめる必要があります。
What, they're just gonna keep the track open tonight for you to do a couple practice laps?
明日の朝、お返事をするということでは。
Ichijo blinks at this, and the captain gives a barely perceivable nod. They seem to have grasped my intent. If I show a willingness to accept her offer, it will give the police team a reason to remain, thereby securing our freedom to investigate for the rest of the day. Ideally, we will sniff out the infected Tsurugi tonight. Then I can simply inform Liger tomorrow morning that I've regretfully decided to decline. It would feel rather like betraying the girl's trust, but the circuit is sacred, and an amateur such as myself has no place there. I'm willing to violate that taboo, however, if the worst case scenario, namely that we fail to uncover the egg tonight, becomes a reality. Despite Muramasa's objections, we'll have no choice but to assume that the enemy has somehow defeated her scanning, in which case, the only option left will be to wait for it to reveal itself. The enemy in this scenario is likely to be among the racers participating in the final, as originally expected. They have the most reason to desire power. I will enter as a racer, place myself in their midst, and strike the moment that the egg hatches. Muramasa believes that this will occur sometime tomorrow. I will want to be as close to ground zero as possible, not watching idly from the stands. It'd be catastrophic were a copy of Ginseigo to appear in a crowded stadium. There won't be a moment to waste. My answer covers both possibilities, making it the ideal solution. For me, that is.
我ながらご好意につけ込むような虫のいい申し状、恥ずかしい限りです。
いや、いいよ。じゃあ明日までに決めといてね。こっちは手続きだけしちゃっとくから。
よろしいので
Yeah,
す
we'll have
か。
the paperwork ready on the desk, ready to go. It just has to get filed, once you say yes. If she pushes my entry through and I drop out last minute, won't it put her in a difficult position? She grins, evidently unperturbed by that possibility. Can she actually get away with it? Or does she just not care?
ノープロブレム。クルスはすぐにこっち持ってこさせるからさ、とりあえず走行してみてよ。もしも合わないようだったら別の用意するし。
いえ、その点に関しましてはご好意だけ
Yeah,
いただきま
one
す。
is fine.
どうすんの？
自前のレーサークルスで臨みます。参戦する場合には。
あるの？
以前に手に入れたものが一応かなりの老朽機ですが、やはり少しでも慣れた品を使った方が良いと思われますので、差し障りがなけれ
With
ば
Muramasa. Okay.
それでお願いしたく。
もう仕方ないかな、そういうことなら。
Unless you, like, have a spare?
あわりなり、テラブリンが。
I don't know if that was like a cover
こうし
story
てま
for,
たも
you
や
know,
脚光を浴びる機会は奪われたの
for
で
having
あった。
Muramasa, or if he actually has, like,
なんでテラ
a
って
test,
つくとこ
like,
うな
a
のか
test
な。
craft.
今回はもう完
Just
全
like
に
in
時
his
外れだっ
garage
た
at
し。
home.
申し訳ありません。せっかくお気遣いいただきながら。
いや、いいけど。じゃあ明日の朝にまた来るので。
はい。ご足労をおかけしました。良い夜をお過ごしください。
The girl waves, and I bow farewell. When I lift my head, she's gone, vanished as sudden as she came. The garage is silent. Everyone looks baffled, as though the victims of a sudden squall. It will take them some time to process what just happened.
うまい具合に話が転がったってことでいいのかしら。
そう言っていいだろう。
Uh-huh.
いささかうますぎて不審の念を覚えないわけではないが。
Got some juicy bait dangling on this
話
hook.
はすべて聞いていたか。
But if you're hungry enough, you're gonna bite anyway.
それにしても初耳ね。あなたがまがいものを持っていたなんて。
あるわけなかろう。
He's talking about you. Alrighty, and with that, that is where we're gonna end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you guys all next time for the next episode of Full Metal Demon Muramasa. I got some editing work to do. Catch you guys later. Bye.